Hello, everybody, and welcome to Toffee Bluecast. We didn't drop an instant match reaction yesterday, but we have got a match reaction tonight. And as I've said, Marvin is here, Manchester City fan. He was on the pre-match, so I guess I've got to face the music. So the match reaction will have an opposition fan on. We've got Marvin in the building. And we want all of you to share your comments, share what you think. It's a match reaction, so we just want to know what you think after the game. And we'll drop your comments on the screen, put as many comments up as we can. If you comment on Twitter, we can still see it. It comes across over to YouTube. And if you come over to YouTube, you can get in the comments, and there will be Everton fans in the comments. So it's a really good platform for the fans to get together. So, Marvin, I take it you're a happy man. The score, by the way, was, as we all know, Manchester City 2, Everton 0. And we will talk through it in patches of what we thought. So, yes, you're smiling. Of course you are.
Of course. I have to smile. I have to smile because you guys, I said 3-0, but I knew it was going to be a difficult game. I said 3-0 at the start, was 2. You know what I mean? We should have got a third, by the way. We should have got a third at the end, you know. I remember saying to you, I said to Dan before this, I said, De Bruyne, if you only squared it, you tried to chip Pickford. If you only squared it, that should have been 3-0 and a hat-trick for Haaland. But, you know, listen, as for the game itself, though, you guys, defensively, some of the defending, you guys defended better than a lot of top 6 teams that we faced this season. There was a lot. You guys threw everything on the line. You know, a lot of top 6 teams, Chelsea didn't defend anywhere near as good. Tottenham, I feel like Tottenham in the FA Cup, they defended well, but nowhere near as good as you guys defended. However, at the end of the day, what did I say? The right wing, to be fair, there was one point where Ashley Young ran past Ake. I was surprised that Ashley Young blissed, still got the pace on Ake. But apart from that, attacking-wise, even though Calvert-Lewin did get you into the game sometimes, did try and create a few things, Harrison should have scored. I think Harrison, his chance, he should have scored that as well. But, yeah, it's what we needed to win.
I actually went back to get a video because I thought I'll put it on the screen if you got it right. And I went back to look at your video, and I thought that you said Haaland to score 2. But when I just went back earlier on to look at your video, you actually said Haaland to score and Foden to score 2. I would have put it on the screen if you got the brace scorer right, but you didn't. You said Foden instead of Haaland. We will talk about the goals. So you're very close. I mean, you did also say when you was on the pre-match, you said, we've got to get a clean sheet. We need a clean sheet. And that seemed to be what was on your main focus, is to get a clean sheet. And you got your clean sheet, didn't you? So you must
we needed a clean sheet. We needed a clean sheet. I feel like these past few games, we looked at the form before the game. We've seen the Brentford matches, the Newcastle matches. You know, when you're trying to win a league title, your defense is what wins the league titles. You know, attack wins game, defense wins titles. Yeah, and I feel like sometimes both, it goes in hand, because let's not lie, you do need a good attack as well to win titles. But the defense is so key, and I feel like now, especially with the games that we've got coming up, you know, after this, we've got Brentford at home, fair enough. You know, we should be beating them. We should be beating Bournemouth away. But after that, it gets tough. We've got Liverpool away. You're looking at Brighton away, Arsenal at home. You're looking at, I think, play Aston Villa, you know, at home as well. So those games, you know, they're very. It's now where things are going to heat up. So we needed to win, trying to get this on the ball, trying to get a clean sheet going. But the thing is, I looked at Everton's defense. I mean, not defense. I looked at Everton's attack, and if there was one thing that I seen you guys were struggling with until the Tottenham game, at least for the past month, it was scoring goals. So I thought that maybe this is the best time now to play Everton in the sense of like scoring goals. I think defensively, you guys haven't really changed. You guys have still been, you know, solid. But I think attacking-wise, there's certain things that Sean Dyche will definitely probably need to do in the summer for you guys.
We will talk about the goals. We'll hit the 2 goals in a minute, and we'll say what we think on the goals. But I have seen on Twitter, it's completely different because what you get so many different personalities in fan bases. And I've seen some Manchester City fans like you saying we gave you a good game. And then I've seen some like saying this is the worst team we've ever played. Everton are the worst team that we've ever played. They come, Everton come, and they didn't even come to play football. They just come for the draw, and they was rubbish and the crap, and they're a team that should get relegated. I didn't respond on this tweet by this Man City fan because I thought, you know what? I thought I've not seen. By the way, Everton are a team that have been completely. We've been in 2 relegation battles, and we've had really bad owners. We've been completely stripped. So what we've had to do is get rid of all of our players and rebuild from the very bottom. So we've had to get rid of players like Delph, Gabarin's had to go. All of the crap deadwood that's made us rubbish, we've had to get rid of. And now we've done that, you have to start as a football team from being good at defending. Like, you can't just, like, if that's your problem, if that's why you're in 2 relegation battles because you're leaking too many goals, as a manager, Sean Dyche has got to say, my main focus is to get this team to be able to defend really well. And then at least I know that they're going to get a lot of draws and might be able to nick a goal to get wins. That's how you go. You go into the roots of a team for me, and that's how you start things. And we was awful at defending under Lampard, and Sean Dyche has come in. He can't do everything at once, can he? He can't get us good at attacking and then get us good at defending all at once. There's a lot of work that's going to take Sean Dyche a couple of years to get Everton back on track. And he's got to start with the defending. Now, my main point is it goes to what that Man City fan was saying. Sean Dyche, for me, that game got us drilled defensively. I've never seen us defend so well ever. And it's not a given. I spoke to an Everton fan and he said to me, Marvin, he goes, oh, defending's simple. That's just a common thing that you can just do easy. I don't think it is. I think Sean Dyche put a lot of work to get us to defend like we did against you, because it's not just everyone behind the ball. It's all those players behind the ball working in sequence, often covering each other, all working together as a team to stop Manchester City, who are very good at attacking. So we've got a big journey to go. And I think for someone to say we was crap and we was awful, I think that was wrong. But it is what it is. I suppose Manchester City fans, for me, some wanted us to just come, try and beat you at your own game. But if we took you on at your own game, like we did towards the end, we probably would have got beat 5 or 6. And I think when we're in the bottom 3, why would we just give up points like that? We had to try and get the draw and try and nick the win. And we had to give you a game that you didn't want. I said that to you on the pre-match. So I think we did that.
When you're near the top and when you're near the bottom, the similarity is goal difference. You know, normally you got to think about the goal difference as well. You're not just thinking about points. You're thinking about goal difference. So if Everton, even though, fair enough, they haven't played like a relegation team this season, they should be a lot higher. We know why they're in the position they're in. We know because of the Premier League and that. However, they're in the situation now. If you do lose 6, 7, 8, you know, and do start conceding goals, like West Ham did today, but West Ham, they've got a bit more like steel. But if you're in the relegation battle and you're conceding like that, you get yourself in a bad situation where you might not be able to get out of. And, you know, Everton, as I said, I remember last year I said Everton should not be in the relegation battle. A team of that size should not be in the relegation zone. In fact, if Everton did go down, the last team not even as big, but the last team I can remember being big with a big fan base that would have went down was Newcastle. When Newcastle went down, then obviously they came back up. And then maybe Leeds, that's another team. But there's certain teams that you just know and something that they need to be in the league. Or they might not need to because no one's guaranteed, but they're such a big part of the league. So I feel like Sean Dyche knew that. It's not like he's just came to join a Luton. You know what I mean? Or even I love my captain. I love Vincent Kompany, you know, for what he's done for City. But it's not like Burnley. It's not like the Burnley situation. Like they could go down, and you know, you can understand it. But what Sean Dyche has done to get the team drilled, like Tarkowski especially, even though Braithwaite was good, but Tarkowski that game was immense. You know, that was Tarkowski. That was the 7th place under Burnley, Tarkowski. That was the one that got Burnley playing European football, Tarkowski. You know, that was the Tarkowski that was knocking on England's door. So Tarkowski, he really impressed me. And he is from Manchester as well. He's from Manchester as well. You know what I mean? So, and he used to play for one of our local teams, um, the Brand by City. So, you know, I know he would have been up for the game. He would have had something to prove, you know, but he really shown it. He really shown what he was about. Braithwaite as well. Even though the second goal, say what you want to say about the second goal, but apart from that, he had a flawless game as well. I just think the thing is with what Sean Dyche needs to do next is, as you've just said, it's about structure. You know what I mean? It's about structure. Don't Obviously you can't change everything at once. You can't do the defense and try and change the midfield and try and change the attack. It's very rare that a manager gets to all of that, you know, if ever. But what Sean Dyche has done, okay, he's got you guys solid. But then now, I think right now, what Sean Dyche needs to do for the next summer is he will need to start trying to think about trying to get a goal scorer other than Doucouré, other than, you know, a midfielder. Because I was looking at your attack, and as I said, even though Calvert-Lewin is a great striker on his day, but the only thing is that if Everton want to go back to at least being even at the top half of the table, they're gonna need a goal scorer. You know, Aston Villa have got Watkins, Brentford have got Tony. You know, even Wolves have got Neto. You know what I mean? This other teams have got some. If Everton want to get themselves back up, it's just that attack. But I think once they get that sorted out, obviously it's not as easy as when you guys had Lukaku. You know what I mean? Lukaku's don't just exist everywhere. You know, and when you guys were just scoring goals. But what I'd now say is just as soon as you get that sorted out, the attack, and you maintain what you're doing with the defense. And as we said, Pickford, I gave him credit again. Pickford as well didn't put a foot wrong. As soon as you get that sorted out, I think that is when
That's
that's it.
that's exactly my point. That's exactly my point. Like you've got to. We need to build things slowly. So sort out your defence and make sure you're a hard team to beat every week. You need to in football, and I think we've done that. But the big problem is, like you've just said, we need attacking players. We need faster players. Probably do need a new striker. I know we've signed Beto, but we maybe if we had money to spend in the transfer window, which we haven't, we've had to really go low budget. I think with Beto, we put 5 million down on a deal where we pay it. When you've got big money, you can get a striker that's in form that can come in like a Lukaku, like you said, that's going to find goals himself. Like even when you're not playing well, sometimes your striker just gets goals because that's what good strikers do. They
To
find
be fair,
goals themselves.
I'll give credit to Beto, even though Beto, that goal that he scored, even though it was offside, and even though it was an offside, but the way he finished that goal, if that was in, that would have been one of the best finishes. You know, that scene, just the way he took it on his left first time, bam. You know, Edison couldn't even see it. You know, Edison, yeah, he did get beat at his near post. Maybe he could have done better, but Beto, he does seem like he's someone that I don't know. Obviously, you guys watch him more, but he does seem like a guy that he might not be the main striker, but he seems like a good option to bring off the bench. He seems like a good option. Like Everton need that. They need that Tony Watkins or whatever. They need that Lukaku or whatever. Once they've got that kind of main striker, you can afford having players like Beto to come on and to give us a threat because he did when he came on. He wasn't bad. He actually played all right. It's not like he didn't do anything. He actually came on, tried to do a few things, but I just think it was that second goal. I think that killed the momentum.
Yeah, you are right though, because in the comments there, regular there saying Love Beto needs to start. This is
Mm.
what happens with us. It's an Everton thing because I remember when we got Moise Keane, Calvert Lewin always started. Moise Keane always a second option. Never really got into our team because Calvert Lewin was always number one over him. And but Calvert Lewin was scoring more goals back then, so he kind of kept him out of the squad. And it seems to me now we had Calvert Lewin. He was injured all last season, injured the season before. And the moment we go and buy Beto, a striker now, finally got someone that gives Calvert Lewin competition. Calvert Lewin's always fit. And then Beto's he's not had that start. I wouldn't have even minded. I know this sounds crazy. I like Calvert Lewin. I think he's got potential, but I think he needs just a little bit of a rest and to come back. I wouldn't have even minded if Calvert Lewin's red card didn't get rescinded because I just feel Beto, give him 2-3 games of a start because since we've signed Beto, he's started the 1-2 games, and I feel as a striker, you've got to feel like you're number one to get your confidence sometimes. Like you're going to get not for me, I play football. I don't want to feel like if I play crap, I'm not playing next game. I want to feel like I'm going to get a couple of games to show what I'm worth. And I think Beto has massive potential for me. And I said that to you on the pre-match, and some of our fans have turned their noses at Beto. But I don't think it's fair of him because Calvert-Lewin's played, Beto's come on 60th minute, he's missed a header, and then our fans say shit. But there's a lot of pressure to come on and get such minimal chances right when Beto comes on. And I feel that I say to our fans, just give him a chance. Don't be on a striker's back straight away, because a striker just needs backing and they need believing in. I mean, we've seen that with Mopé. Mopé's gone. He didn't fit our system at all, but Mopé's gone to Brentford. They love him, and Mopé's playing really well for them. So I do feel with Beto, if he had a couple of starts, I think there's a good player in him. He's strong, fast, and he'll run his absolute bollocks off to do everything he can for the club. So I would like to see better when he come on. If he wasn't offside and timed his runs a bit better, it was a cracking finish that he did. And I think when a player puts the ball in the back of the net like that and don't know they're offside, it shows that they're very close to scoring goals for us. So I like what you say on Beto there. I have got Paul in. Paul, if you want to jump in, Paul's managed to get on. He's here. There he is. Just seeing you down there.
How are we doing, everyone? How you doing,
Facing
Marv?
the music.
We're good.
Oh dear. Yeah, I managed to listen to some of it so far. I'm with you, Dan. That tweet about us being the worst team that they've seen at the Etihad this season just balled. Everyone's pissed, isn't it? Really.
Yeah.
Because it just wasn't true. It just was not true either. And actually, if anyone who moans about a team, especially if you're doing well, you're at the top of the league or whatever, anyone who moans about a side who are towards the bottom of the league coming to there to play a game and defend most of the time, well, yeah. That just shows that, one, you weren't there when you were the team playing top sides and defending and trying to get points and everything else. So you've got no memory of history of your team, because obviously that we've all been through that. You guys have been through that previous. So that person to me is just lacking any kind of footballing common sense, to be honest. So
yeah, but
that's
the
what
thing
I
is, you get these idiots, and sometimes you think that the whole fan base thinks the same as it's one Twitter account, and you think the whole fan base thinks the same. But I seen that guy's tweet, the Man City fan. Troll people they are. They just bore your piss. That Manchester City fan, by the way, he was just really frustrated because it went 70 minutes of Manchester City, him getting really angry and starting to get worried, thinking that this game was going to be a draw. And the game went exactly how we didn't want it to go. Everton really frustrated him. We stopped Man City at doing everything they wanted to do up until the 70th minute. They didn't have a shot on target. No team, by the way, team stops Manchester City from having a shot on target till the 70th minute. And even if you want to, it's not easy to do because Manchester City are incredible at finding ways of breaking teams down. And we've just seen West Ham try and go and defend against Arsenal and stop them from being good. They got smashed. It's not easy to stop a team like Manchester City. And we've played Manchester City before and put 5 in defence and still not managed to stop them from having a shot on target. We didn't do that this game. We played 4-5. So we didn't go super defensive and just sit back. We just really did defend well. We when Man City had the ball, we always pushed them out. So they was playing on the halfway line, Man City was. It wasn't just all dives in the box and stuff like that. It was just clever, tactical, structured, drilled football by us. Now, I would have liked, Paul and Marvin, I think there was a couple of times where we got the ball back off you. And I think because we was thinking so much about we need to defend well, we didn't pass the ball well. Like, we got the ball and we just gave it straight back to you. We need to keep the ball better for me. That is something I do want to do. I think when you get the ball back, when you've got such little possession, we've got to have more confidence to hold on to the ball. And I would like to have seen us keep the ball a lot better against you, because there was a couple of times where Calvert-Lewin's just not holding it up good enough for me, or Harrison's just quickly tried to pass it when we're not in position, or Pickford's done a goal kick too quick and gave you the ball back. And I think when you've not got much possession, you can't give it to them that easy. But there was, as we'll go through it now, I feel when our Onana come on, we did look like we was better and have potential to have possession when he come on. Right, let's talk about the first goal. Now, The first goal, Marvin, I'm glad I've got you on. We don't normally have an opposition fan on for match reaction, so this is interesting. I want to see your face here.
Okay.
That first goal was a goal kick, in my opinion.
The goal kick, yeah, but yeah, possibly.
Was it a corner?
Yeah, it wasn't the corner. To be fair, it was a bit lucky, in football. I can't lie. Certain things happen. It was a kick. It was. I can't even complain about you saying that. I can't even really. I couldn't even complain. When I seen it, I was like, oh, I didn't notice it at first. It was actually when I got home and I checked it, that I realized that, we got that decision. So it does show why I can't complain on other teams getting decisions. So next time Liverpool get a decision for them, or Arsenal get a decision for them, I gotta keep quiet, or they'll bring that up. They'll definitely bring that up. But yeah, I mean, the first goal, I don't know. I think the first one, I felt like after the whole controversy about is it a corner or not, I just thought that when it went to Haaland, I was just like, yeah. I just seen the way he was setting up on his right foot. I feel like Pickford. I don't know if Pickford got a touch on the ball. I don't know if Pickford got a touch on the ball. I don't know if it just flew or if it took it. But I just
he did get it. I've seen some of your fans with Pickford with his dinosaur on picture, but the way Haaland's hit that, he did get a touch on it, but he's got a touch on it where he don't even know he's got a touch on it because Haaland's absolutely drilled.
It's an absolute missile. The shot was an absolute missile, and Pickford did well to get a touch on it. That's why it looks as though it goes in the roof of the net. Then, after that.
Because I was seeing it, he just got a little touch up. It was one of those goals that it was just literally the power. I think if it was any other City player on that, we might have not scored that. I think even if it was Alvarez, I'm looking at that. I don't think many players generate the power that he can generate. Like his power, the power that you can generate on shots, there's no one else in the club that can really do that. So I feel like that was just right person, right time, right scenario, right situation. And I think that's why some City fans may have been angry. We do have a few City fans that are like that do say that, oh yeah, Everton are the worst in the or whatever. They get a bit angry. I mean, I don't know for whatever reason, because I could tell you now the worst opponent for me was probably Sheffield. So the fact that Everton, the only thing, as I said, Everton, they defended that was probably one of the best defensive performances that I've seen this season against us. So that goal was kind of that first goal when I didn't care how it came. I was just happy that it did come, and I can't really be too excited about that goal. I'm more excited for the second goal, but the first goal I can't really say too much other than it was just the right player in the right place at the right time. I think that's the best way to describe it, because any other player.
I did say it makes it so. What I was just going to say, I'll put this on you now, Paul. What I was just going to say, yes, it was the wrong decision. It was a goal kick. Like, they both headed the ball at the same time, but Calvert-Lewin just headed the ball last, and it come off your player. It was a close decision, but at the end of the day, if you, like you just said, Marvin, some decisions go against you, some decisions go for you, but if you don't get the decision, you've got to deal with it. And when that corner come in the box, there was a moment where Branthwaite could have put his foot through it. We've been defending a long time, like I say, 71 minutes without a shot on target, Man City at this point. There's a moment where Branthwaite probably could have cleared it, but this is like, and then there's it. Haaland, I wouldn't even expect him to be in that position. I would have thought he would have been in the middle, trying to head the ball in the middle. But he's back post. Like you expect those small players to be back post. Haaland's back post, and he's the player you want in that situation, because you feel a few could hit that shot into Coleman probably, and Garner going out to block it. But Haaland's never going to miss. He's the best striker for me in the world at the minute. And the way he rocketed that in, it was just a good goal, wasn't it? We just maybe, as Tarkowski said in the interview, when you play the best teams in the world like Man City, it's fine margins because they're that good. You make 1 second, one slip up, and you can pay for it. And I feel that corner was the first time that we didn't defend as well as we did all the way through the game. What was you going to say, Paul? I think Paul's had a freeze then.
Well,
let him come back in. Yeah, I feel that was the moment that we didn't defend well. He'll come back in. I think he had a freeze then when I put it on him. But the first goal. See if it's come back in and thingy. But it was a good finish. Pickford will get trolled because he got a touch on it.
Yeah, that's just that's just
What was you thinking like up until when we're playing? I'm starting to think to myself because I said to you, I just want to defend well, start the game well, and absorb Man City and grow into the game. And I felt like first off, I was like, yes, we're not keeping the ball well. We're showing very little attacking, which I wasn't happy about because that wasn't the plan. We wanted to attack better. But if you're not attacking good, at least defend good. And I thought, I can't see Man City scoring here. Was you worried about you scoring this game? Because we didn't look like you could get through, did we? Like no shots on target at all 70th minute.
I was to be fair, I was getting worried, but I think it is a little bit on Pep as well. It is a little bit. The City fans, and I do agree with it is a little bit on Pep, benching KDB when you're playing one of the best defenses in the league. I think that was a mistake. We should have started with KDB. I feel like even though KDB didn't really influence the game as much apart from the second goal, fair enough, but that was mainly what Haaland did. Obviously KDB did do the pass, but if Let's brings him down, that doesn't happen. So I just think that KDB needed to start that game. I think that because before him, and I don't want to say it because it just sounds like we're a one-man team now, which is not. It's not correct. We're not a one-man team because that would be a line. And as we all know, we do have loads of different players. But KDB is he's our main player, or maybe not our most important. I would say Rodri. Okay, Rodri's our most important player, but KDB is our best player. He's the player that makes the difference, in these kind of scenarios. So I was becoming a little bit worried, but when he brought KDB on, I was like, let's see if it changed. Then there was a few minutes, even when KDB came on and you guys were still defending. That's when I started becoming worried because I was like, we've got no one else. Maybe bring on Bernardo. That was my next hope. Bring on Bernardo, which we ended up doing in the end. But you could see we were looking on the bench. We even brought Kyle Walker to change the game. We even tried to bring a defender because you guys had no outlet. The fullbacks, they were not getting up. They were not getting upfield. They were not doing anything. You guys didn't let Stones normally get involved more in the game. Stones didn't even get involved in the game as much. You guys neutralized us. So it was just literally, as I said, and I remember saying this to both of you guys on the preview, it's all about individual brilliance, which will win the game. We'll just have too much individual brilliance, and that's exactly what happened. It was just individual brilliance that won us that game. And you need that in tight games like this.
Do you know on the first goal, Paul, it cut you off? What was you going to say on the first goal? So it just cut you off on the first goal?
On the first one, no, I wouldn't blame anyone. Yeah, I wasn't going to blame anyone for the first goal. It was just one of those where it's dropped down and then you just try and get a toe on it to get it away. And it's just very Everton that it just falls down to Haaland at the back post of all people, but absolute missile. So I won't blame anyone. And I think the goal kick corner conversation, I think if you're at home, you get that decision because it's one of them close ones. I think you're at home, you get it. If you're away, you don't. So I'm not any qualms really about City's first goal. I did think for a moment, although I thought it's still unlikely, because I said 0-0. I thought we could be on here. So it's probably my fault because it was probably about the 68th minute I thought that. But yeah, I wouldn't blame anyone for the first one. I think the key change, like you said, Marv, was with De Bruyne coming on. I mean, what we've had constantly on Twitter is that photograph of your bench. Where our entire first 11 aren't even as expensive as one of the people on the bench who actually wasn't even the key person, And I think Rodri playing means that you don't get beat. I think Kevin De Bruyne being on means that you win. I think that's probably where the difference is. I remember tweeting something probably about we were in two semi-finals actually one year. I think we played you in the League Cup final, and I think you beat us 3-1 at your place to go through. It's one that still rankles because Sterling crossed the ball and the ball looked as though it was out. One of those things. But I tweeted at the time and said, we brought on, to change the game, we brought on a £5 million player from Wigan in Kone, and you brought on a £50 million player from Wolfsburg. So that's still the difference a decade later. Still.
Yeah.
So it's
I
not going
think
to change.
the thing is with the finance debate is that one is kind of, and even there's new rules in place, and that is only going to help the teams. The only way that you guys get that kind of bench now is a takeover or change of ownership. That's the only hope. I feel like Everton is one of those teams that probably definitely need to be looking at a change of ownership. At least trying to invest. And I think I think Everton there's some attraction for Everton. The fact that it's in Liverpool, the fact that there is another team in Liverpool, which I think did help Man City in the end. The fact that Man United was successful at that time, that kind of made Manchester a little bit more attractive. Because as a city, it wasn't as attractive to a new owner really before that. Yeah, apart from football, if you're living in Los Angeles or you're living in a different city abroad, you're not really going to be thinking about Manchester to live in, maybe, unless you're like from there, you're working there, whatever. So, or you're going there to visit a match. So I think that Everton have got a chance maybe to get a new owner, but I think that's just, we hit the lottery really. That's the only way to describe it. And I do agree. The bench, when I did see it, and they always do this, every City match, guaranteed, they always show the bench. Every time I'm home and there's a game, I always see the bench. Or you go home, you watch the highlights, they're always put on the bench. So as soon as I said that, I knew there would be a few conversations on that. But yeah, I can't lie. There is a difference between both benches. I was even looking at Everton's bench and I was thinking, who can they really bring on the weekend? I was really struggling to see who you guys were going to bring on to change the game.
The team,
yeah.
the
and
team,
and actually, our bench wasn't too bad for us.
No, it was a strong. It was a strong
on there.
bench.
Better on there, and Anna was obviously on there as well. So it wasn't a bad bench for us. But yeah, I can see why other people would think that. To be honest,
the team that you started, I should have said this at the start of the stream, but we can still touch on it. The team that you started was nothing like what you come up with, because we predicted lineups. It was very unexpected, wasn't it? I mean, I didn't expect Nunes to get a start. I like Nunes, by the way. I think he's a good player and he's got loads of potential, but he's nowhere near what he needs to be for you yet, is he? I think he's got a lot of growing to do.
Yeah,
he needs a lot of. Maybe he's a player that you might have to send out and bring back. I don't know with Nunes. He's a good player, but I didn't expect you to start him. Then you had kind of two centre back in midfield. What did you think of your formation when you started? You must have been frustrated, probably.
I was just confused. To be honest. I was because I remember I knew Stones would come back into the team. I think I got the back five right. I don't know if I got it right or wrong. I think I got the back five right. It was more the attack. I thought it was Nunes. That was probably his worst game of the year, and he has had a few bad games. When he's good, he's good. When he's bad, he's bad. And that's the thing is with Nunes. Nunes is one of those guys that he'll need a year. He'll need an extra year. I think this season, the fans are going to give him like a pass. I think next season, the fans are going to start getting onto him like they did with Grealish. I think for now, there are a few City fans that are already getting onto him, but I think you can excuse Nunes. But I think it was, again, Pep. He was playing players in various different positions. Even Akanji was playing midfield. I don't know why he did that in the first half. I don't know why he put Akanji in midfield against Everton and Stones. If you want, he should have been playing Stones in midfield. So I feel like Pep just he doesn't overthink, but even forwarding on the wing, even though his best games currently have been on, he's been making the change. He's been making game-changing moments forward in midfield, not on the wing. So I think it's just a lot of things that Pep just thinks on the day or before the day of just how he wants to play, and then he just goes with the team. I think he just changes. You can never understand necessarily what Pep's going to do because he just changes it so many times. You'd think that we would know after he's our manager for 7 years, but you still never know. 7, 8 years, but you still never know with Pep what's he going to actually do.
It's a good thing in a way that he's got so much in his head that he's got an option for everything. But I think he overthinks stuff too sometimes. Sometimes it feels like he just gives himself a challenge that he doesn't even need and tests things and tries things that he doesn't need. Pep frustrates me, but when I say that, I'm not allowed to say that because he's so... I don't know what it's like being a Man City fan, whether you're allowed to criticise him, but I remember tweeting something about him one time when you didn't win the Champions League, and I thought Pep was a big part of it with his decisions. And I remember people saying, "Oh, you can't criticise him," but I thought he's overcomplicating it. Like you've got the players. You could have won the Champions League then. I think it was when Sterling missed the sitter, and I just thought, you know what, Pep should be winning it then when Sterling missed that sitter. And but you can't. I don't know what's like you as a fan. You can't really say much about Pep because he's got such a good record, hasn't he? But then you can even the best managers, they still can get things wrong. I was going to talk on the second goal now. The Blues said there you did get the formation right. I put it on the screen. You did get the formation right. You didn't get the team right, but you did actually get the formation right, Marvin. So I'm thinking we're defending really well. Your subs did come on early, didn't they? I think your manager's thinking, let's just get these subs on early. Because if it didn't look like you wasn't going to score, I think De Bruyne and all that lot the plans was to bring him on later. But I think your manager Pep thought, we're not going to have much time to score with these if we don't get these on early. So there was on faster than what I thought. You could see them stripped.
They came on the hour.
Yeah.
Walker and De Bruyne came on the hour. And I was like turning the screw then. I was going up a gear after that.
I think the Walker change was just as important as the De Bruyne change for that game, at least. I think Walker helped us play a little bit more. He actually got down, as I did expect, because obviously his recovery pace, but he played more high and wide. And I think that's what we needed. We just needed an outlet. We needed another outlet on the wing, because that was the only way we were going to beat Everton on those wings. That was the only way it looked like until those moments, until the corner. Because centrally, you guys were winning everything. Even when Tarkowski, I remember a bit in the first half, Tarkowski, he made a mistake or misplaced a pass, and then I think it was McNeil that ran back into the box and cleared it. I think it was McNeil or somebody. So it just felt like centrally, you're going to have even attackers getting back. So it had to be the wings. And I feel like Walker changed that. Walker, he was an option, he was an outlet. He tried to, even defensively, I felt like defensively since these past few games, he's getting back to the Walker that we know. So I feel like that was an important change. But I think the De Bruyne one, as we said before, I just think just the second goal, again, there's not many players, certain players on our team would second guess making that pass to Haaland. They would go back to the keeper. They would start trying to play 1-2s or pass side to side and then back and then triangles instead of just hitting the ball, hitting them first time. And I think Haaland said that after the interview. He said, no problem with the other players. He just knows with De Bruyne, he's going to get the pass perfectly. With other players, he has to think about, oh yeah, you might not get that pass as perfect. So I just think that was just the difference. But we needed that. We needed those two to come on because we weren't creating anything. I think you guys frustrated us. Probably the only team that frustrated us more this season was Aston Villa.
Even when they come on, I thought, you know what? It's a lot harder, but we can still handle these. And then when you got your goal, it wasn't like the first goal, like we touched on. It wasn't a world-class goal. It was just one of those goals where you get a bit of luck. Haaland, cracking goal by him, but I'm just saying a corner isn't like a masterpiece Man City goal, is it? You was a lot better on corners. I got that wrong, by the way. I'll put my hands up here. And another thing that I do want to mention. First of all, I said you'd be weak on corners, thinking that we do you on corners. You are good on corners, attacking as well, by the way. Haaland's a beast. You was right on the players that you said as well. You was dangerous on corners, a lot more dangerous than what I thought for a Man City team. You did have bigger players on as well, though. I suppose that was the positive about putting a Kanji and your centre back on as well. He's big as well, isn't he? So you did have some big players on corners. You're a lot better on corners than one. Another thing that I do want to touch on, I did mention that it should have been a goal kick and we got the wrong decision. So I moaned there. But one thing I do want to say as well, because I'm not one that just frigging blags stuff, Godfrey should have got sent off. So maybe we got lucky in that way. Obviously, a video that's been going around, he's deliberately kicked. For me, different. This is my opinion anyway. Paul's saying no. He's kicked he's kicked out, and everyone said he's kicked the keeper in the face. And there's a slow-mo video. Paul, you saying no?
Wasn't at all. He's still trying to swing his leg or his foot back round towards the ball. He's not even looking at Edison. It's not like he knows where Edison's head is, to be honest. He's trying to get his toe on the ball where Ake still stood in between him and Edison as well. You can slow loads. I tell you what, you can slow loads of things down. You could slow footage down of every corner, and then you could pick out, look, Haaland used his elbow to get Tarkowski, or Tarkowski did something where he looked as though he was going to handle it, or he pushed someone in the face. Or slow it all down. It's all ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. So yeah, there was contact with his face, but it was not deliberate. I'm on one there.
Comments get involved. I did at first tweet saying he tried to kick the ball and his foot's gone near his face. Then I got loads of crap. So then I did say, he probably did it deliberately. I don't really massively want to get into it, but let's have it in the comments now. Should Godfrey have got... Marvin, give us your opinion. That's Paul's opinion, by the way. What's yours, Marvin? You've seen the slow motion.
At first, I thought from the stance, it looked from afar that was a penalty, like a red card. But when you looked at it again, I think Edison, he rushed out. And I did say you guys about Edison. This guy does like to rush out. He does sometimes lose his head and comes out of goal like he did against Brentford. So I think the fact that he came out quick and kind of like got there, I think it kind of put the defender off. So that I can understand why it wasn't a red card, because I don't think it was deliberate. I just think it was just that Edison rushed out too quick. On slow-mo, it definitely looked like a red card, by the way. On slow motion, it did. But if I'm thinking like, let's say I'm a defender in that position, and a goalkeeper or an attacker and a goalkeeper comes rushing out of nowhere, especially in the speed that he does, because you need a keeper that's fearless, and I feel like he jumped out and he moved out. And yeah, I think the only time I can imagine it being a red card is if they thought that, it was going to be dangerous or serious. And it could have been, if Edison stayed on the floor, if there was blood, maybe he would have got sent off. If it was like when Mane's one where there was blood, I think he would have got sent off. But the fact that he was all right, he wasn't all right, but the fact that he wasn't, it wasn't as bad, there was no real kind of blood, he was like saying that he's fine, I think that also helped in keeping him on. But I just think Edison just came out a little bit too quick. He was brave, which is what we want in a keeper.
Well, I bet you wouldn't have seen this then, because there is... It's not even... Your fans ain't even saying this on the actual slide in. After Ben Godfrey slides in and he's laying down, the ball's on his quad, and Godfrey... There's an action right at the end of the video that if you watch it, you don't see it. And if you watch it again, someone says, watch it to the very end. There's an action where they're saying after Godfrey slid in the tackle, he's gone to kick him in the face. And I don't think it's made contact, because if it did, it was studs in the face and it would have been stitches. So they are saying that it was the action after the tackle that Godfrey, after he slid in with him, has had a sneaky kick in the face. And it's just a little foot action towards the face. Now, Paul's saying, no, that's just Godfrey moving his leg to get the ball towards the goal. But I don't know. It's one of them. He had to go in for the tackle.
I tell you what a key thing is as well. Edison's, I know obviously he's needing treatment after that. Edison's not kicked off at the referee saying, why haven't you sent him off? Ake's there as well. He's not said anything. None of the players around the incident either have gone to the referee. And we know City, no offence, Mark, City like to go around the referee when they want something. So if they did feel as though that there was a case for any kind of retribution against Godfrey, then they would have been straight into the referee's ear, without a doubt. I know, because we would be the same if we could.
It is an interesting one. It's a video that's gone round, so I thought we'd address it, because that's what we do after the game. We kind of address everything in the game. Now, this is another big one. And Marvin, I seen the smile on your face, and this is another fun. It's good to do a match reaction with the opposite fan, because normally you just wouldn't speak to the opposite fan after the game.
Yeah, if you were an arse, Marvin, if you were an arse, then we just wouldn't have brought you on.
Yeah, I wouldn't have brought you back, but I liked you. And the goal, Man City fans and some commentary people are saying Haaland, but let's by the way, Everton are 1-0 down. We don't want to have to go out to attack to bring a game back. I said that to you. We wanted the first goal. So we've had to bring Onana on, and we've brought Beto on as well, which did make a big difference. But we know for a fact when we go attacking against you, your attacking players, we're going to have big problems if you catch us out. Now, De Bruyne caught us out, and you played the ball through. And a lot of people are saying, oh, Haaland absolutely powered through Branthwaite and smashed him, and he's stronger than him. When I've watched this back 20 times, which I have, they don't show it in slow-mo, but I've watched it back, Branthwaite trips over his own feet. When he's running, his legs tangle. Well, his leg bounces off Haaland, which Haaland doesn't even intend, by the way. Haaland's just running. So his legs, it's like Bambi. His legs have gone and tangled. Just a bad fall over, which players do. So for me, Branthwaite's fell over, which isn't good, by the way. You can't do that when you're one-on-one. But he's fell over, which happens. But then it's got turned into this story where Branthwaite's got pushed off the ball by Haaland, and Haaland's absolutely outpowered him and scored. Now, Marvin, what's your thoughts on this? Because watch it back. All I'm seeing is I'm watching it now and I'm thinking, yes, Branthwaite versus Haaland. We are going to get to see Branthwaite on a one-on-one with Haaland. This is going to be the best one-on-one ever. And then Branthwaite's just, his legs have gone and he's fell over by accident. And I didn't get to see the one-on-one, but people are speaking like it was a one-on-one. And Haaland absolutely smashed him up. Talk to me about this goal, Marvin.
I do think it was a little bit of both. I think the fact that obviously he tripped over, that obviously he might have not flew the way that he did. But I've seen Haaland score a very similar goal last season where he pushed somebody off the ball. I think
I've seen that, and he is strong, by the way. Haaland is very strong, but I don't think he was strong on this scenario. I think it was just that he fell over.
You know what it is? I just think it's a bit of both because I've seen Haaland. Sometimes he even gets yellow cards for doing this, for pushing in the defenders. He does sometimes the referees do tell him to like calm down or whatever. I remember it was Brighton. I don't know if it was Webster or Dunk, one of the two. And those guys are also strong. These guys are big guys as well. And he pushed the guy over and he flew. I think this one, yeah, he did trip. And I think that definitely would have played a part to maybe if he would have got maybe a touch on the ball. But I think Haaland as well. The fact that it was Haaland there as well. I think Alvarez, if it was Alvarez, he might have tripped and it might not been as bad. But the fact Haaland was there also looks bad on Braithwaite. But I think at that moment, once he's gone through, I think I always say, whenever you see Haaland one-on-one, just look at the way he opens up his body. You know, it's almost like a
it's a cracking finish, yeah.
Yeah, like the way he does it, it's just like technology. It's almost like he's like a machine, like technology. The way he just turns it, and you can see his body just slightly moving, and you can see what he's gonna do before he does it. And I feel like there's nothing Pickford could do in that scenario. Once it was there, it was finished. But as for the Braithwaite thing, I think that was kind of, you can say it was unfortunate because I didn't really see if he tripped up too much. I did see that obviously there was a little bit of maybe tripped on his feet, but I just think it's the fact that Haaland's there. I do think Haaland also kind of tries to shoulder barge him a bit because there is a little bit of contact. That's why I was celebrating, but I was like, oh wait, VAR might check it. You can never know what VAR might do, but they said it was a goal.
What's your thoughts on this, Paul? What's your thoughts on the goal?
Some players are all arms. Haaland's very all arms. You know, I remember watching Gaza back in the day. Gaza used to run with his elbows up like this, you know, and if he caught someone in the face, he didn't care, but they couldn't get near him. As one of his dribbling techniques was, he'd be sort of pushing people or elbowing people off. Shearer was the same, to be honest. He was all elbows. So Haaland has that kind of zone around him when defenders try and get that, and he does use his arms to fend them off. Sometimes it's to fend them off, but it's whatever works. And most of the time, especially if you're one of the top sides, then you're going to get a bit of the rub of the green, but it's going to take a push in the back rather than a push from the shoulder. Do you know what I mean? From the side. So Branthwaite at this stage was always going to be the underdog in that battle, without a doubt. But the pass by De Bruyne was perfect. If we'd passed that ball, there was a pass in the first half Harrison made through to Calvert-Lewin, Was it first half? It might have been. Oh yeah, it was. It was first half, and it was just a yard behind Calvert-Lewin. If that had been 2 yards in front, like De Bruyne did with Haaland from 50 yards away, then you're able to run onto it and then do that. But Haaland didn't have to break stride. He could just concentrate on where Branthwaite was. Now, if there was contact on the legs, then yeah, that's not great. However, like Blue says, I'm kind of glad that Branthwaite didn't foul Haaland, because we would have lost Branthwaite for 3 games. So
Yeah,
it was a good goal. It was strong forward play. Depends what kind of position you played when you were a kid. Knew you favour.
there was a pass like that De Bruyne pass in the game, because we see the clips after the game of players that played well, and there was a clip of Onana and there was a clip of Branthwaite. Branthwaite played fantastic up until that fall over. And I don't think that was even Branthwaite's fault, but I'm sure you would have seen it. Branthwaite was so good this game, composed on the ball and everything, really good, playing well. And there was one of Onana as well. Onana put a ball through to Beto, and Beto was just offside, but the ball that Onana put through was a proper good ball. Like I'll put it on my Twitter thing. It's a clip of Onana when he come on, and Onana when he come on for us, we couldn't keep the ball. We could defend good, but we couldn't keep the ball, and we needed to keep the ball better. Sean Dyche said that our plan wasn't to not keep the ball. We needed to defend well, but keep the ball. When Onana come on, he just wanted the ball. Even if he was next to Kevin De Bruyne or he had good players around him, give it me again, give it me. And it was a massive positive for me watching Onana come on, and he looked like he could make Everton better. He looked like he could dictate the game. Now, I don't think no one was playing bad, by the way. Garner Gay was doing really well this game, and James Garner at the defensive stuff. But Onana come on and he just looked like he's got the tool to give you possession, which the others didn't have. And I think we say Beto come on and he was good, Paul, but I think Onana coming on was a big part of Beto being good, because we wouldn't have got the ball to Beto if Onana didn't come on. And I think Onana, when he come on, he just got the ball. And I think when someone's confident like that and they'll come on and get the ball, you then see our other Everton players having to move to get into positions for Onana. And then it all clicks. Just one good player coming on can click. Like De Bruyne coming on for you. De Bruyne comes on, changes the game for you. I think Onana come on and he looked good for us. Go on, Paul.
Yeah, it's that link, innit? I mean, another really good part of Branthwaite's game is that it might only be a pass over 10 yards, 20 yards, but he likes to pass it to someone who's sort of inside left. You know, where Onana came to pick up the ball. What Onana did well was that he turned. He didn't sort of just give it back to Branthwaite and then walk off looking all fancy. He actually, when he got the ball through a tight space from Branthwaite, he actually turned, and then he's able to see the pass. That's one of the occasions where he fed it through for Beto. And if we could just further up the pitch, just be a bit more aware, because Beto was offside 2 or 3 times in the time that he was on. In that occasion when Onana played him through and he was a yard offside, 2 yards offside, if he'd known that and stopped, Dwight McNeil was actually 2 yards to his left-hand side onside and would have had a free run through as well. So if Onana can keep doing what he's doing, getting the ball off the people at the back and turning, and then feeding balls through those gaps, like James Garner can do quite well. If we can have a bit more awareness further up the pitch, then we might be able to utilise that and create more chances that we don't put away. Go on, we've got to put away some chances eventually.
Well, we got some big games coming up, and I think in big games they don't win themselves. You need players that are going to go and turn up and say, "I want to win this game." And the way Onana was when he come on, that was, for me, I was thinking, yes, that's a big positive going into the next games, because we played well against Man City, but we didn't. It's going to be completely different though. It's going to be a different game, because our fans are saying, "Oh, we look like we've got nothing attacking against Man City." But when we come and play Crystal Palace, we're going to attack a lot more naturally. You can't play against Manchester City and just attack. They will just destroy you. Like, they're the best. Like, you're playing into their hands if you just go and attack Man City, because they're so good. We're not going to play the same against another team. We'll play against Crystal Palace, and Crystal Palace, like, for example, you play Manchester City, when our back line push up, you're more scared because you've got Haaland and Foden that can just absolutely destroy you. You play, no disrespect to Crystal Palace, you play Crystal Palace, I wouldn't be as scared as their attackers if we do push up and get caught out, because they're not always going to take all the chances and be as clinical as Man City. And you're not always going to pay for it. So you can take more risks against a team that's not as good as Manchester City. We couldn't take no risks against Manchester City. So I do feel our fans moaning about this game saying, oh, it was awful, we didn't even try and attack. We'll attack a lot more against a team that's not as good as Manchester City, in my opinion. So I wouldn't get too disheartened. Don't forget who we played. Just because we handled Man City for 70th minutes, did you think, oh, we could have done a lot better because we handled them and we should have shown more attack? It wasn't easy to handle them. So don't push it too much, because that's the best team for me that we played this season. I know we got battered by Aston Villa, but Manchester City are just a different kettle of fish. Like, that's the best I've seen Everton defend ever, and you still broke us down. And
I've got there's a question in there, Dan, for all of us and people in the comments as well. Marv, you can choose an Everton one. You can choose a Man City one as well if you want.
Paul, before this question, there's plenty on. I don't give it a shout out, but I should. Can people please hit that like and subscribe button, because we want likes on the stream so we get it going around when we get off. And we want more people in the comments as well. So if you can hit that like, there's 14, 15 on. Goes up to 20 sometimes. There's 20 people listening. So a quick bit of music. Can we hit that like button, please? Because when I put the music on, I know you hit that like button. So come on. Let's hit that like. Press the like. Don't cost nothing. Just like the stream and subscribe so you know when we go live. Right, Paul. Here we go. Paul's got the DJ move there, bouncing us up and down. There you go. Right, Paul, go for it. Fire in the question.
So one defender, one midfield, and one forward is the best performers yesterday. Obviously, usually from an Everton point of view, but I'll let Marvin say his City ones as well, because they obviously deserved it. Marvin, do you want to go first with your City ones, and then you can tell us your Everton ones?
Right. Best defender. I'll say our best defender yesterday was. I'm gonna give it Kyle Walker. Kyle Walker for his change. I think it can't be. I feel like Kanji had a bad game yesterday. John Stones wasn't bad, but I just feel Kyle Walker changed it for us yesterday, and I feel like he should be definitely given credit, especially everything that's been going on. You know, the fact that I think he's going going for a divorce currently too, and then ever since that, his head hasn't really been, as he understandably hasn't really been the same. But in the past few games, he's coming back to the Kyle Walker. So I'll give Kyle Walker credit for that. Best midfielder. I know Kevin De Bruyne changed the game, but I'm going to give it to one of the guys that started. I'm going to give it to Rodri. I'm going to give Rodri his flowers again. I just think that it just helps. He just helped. He's just to have him in. You know, the impact you can see, just the way that he keeps helping you can see the way that the Everton players try to surround him every time he was on the ball. And he just helps the game continue. I think that having Rodri on, even if KDB comes on, if we had Calvin Phillips on yesterday, we'd probably have lost the game. You know, and so I think I've got to give Rodri that. Even though KDB did come on, I just think that Rodri, consistently throughout yesterday, I give him that. And forward has to be the big man, has to be the machine. Haaland has to be Haaland. Then I just think, I think he by his reaction, by his celebration, you could tell he was waiting for that. 2 months without a goal, so I think you could tell. Yeah, some people said he went over the top with the celebrations. Probably that was Jamie Carragher, to be honest.
Get down the tunnel. Get down.
That was probably Jamie Carragher, but I think he does it. I just think let him celebrate that. And then as for Everton, I said this before actually, Paul. I said Tarkowski, man. I think yesterday, even though people are talking about Brayford, but Tarkowski yesterday really looked like he had something to prove. He went back to the Tarkowski I said at the start of the show, the Burnley Tarkowski under Sean Dyche. The one that was finishing 7th place. Got them into some sort of fight for European football. That was the Tarkowski that showed yesterday. So definitely Tarkowski. I want to give him that credit. Midfield, I'll give that to James Garner. I'll give it to James Garner. I was quite impressed. More than I actually thought at first. I didn't really see too much of him, to be honest. before that game. But yesterday, really, he did stand out in that midfield. I think Gay also had a good game, by the way. I think Gay could have definitely been best midfielder as well. That's actually, thinking about it now, might have been Gay, but it would be one of those two. But I'm gonna give it a Ghana because I think for a young guy to have the performance that he did yesterday, I give him he did well. And then forwards, even though he didn't really play for too long, I'm looking at maybe Beto, maybe, or even Jack Harrison. I feel like Jack Harrison, there was a few times that Harrison you could see if you guys were going to score, it was going to go through him. And I think that Harrison, even he will say that chance where it was on his left foot when he tried to place it, I think he could have, I don't want to say he should have scored, but that was the chance. That was a chance that you guys could have pulled one back. So I'll give it Harrison. Because I feel like if there was anything, if there was going to be any goal, it was going to come through or by Harrison.
Yeah, fair dues, mate. Fair dues, Dan.
He knows his football, to be fair, doesn't he, Marvin? I think our big Branthwaite up, and I think he's world class, but I don't think it was his best game. I think he played really well in patches. Tarkowski's got to be the centre back for me. I thought Mikolenko did really well, but just Tarkowski I can't think of anything he did wrong. And every time, like, it was down to Tarkowski for saving us, you feel like he would. Do you know what I mean? He felt like he was. There's a couple of times where you had shots and he just come out and he closed it really fast. And when you watch a couple of the Man City shots, if you actually watch, you think, oh, he's missed that. But Tarkowski actually blocks the angle out when you actually slow it down. He played really well. So I'm going to go with you on that one, Tarkowski. In the midfielders, it's hard because I thought Onana come on and played really well. And he showed something different to what we didn't have, like attacking-wise. But then I can't forget how well we defended. And then Ghana Gay, Gay's come back from the African Cup of Nations. And I tell you something, he wasn't like this before he went. He's running, he's given everything and more. Like, we need Decore to do that press. And you wouldn't expect Ghana Gay to be able to do it at his age, but he was really trying against Manchester City. And he was turning the ball over and really pressurising your players. And I feel that was a big part to us defending so well, because every time you got into positions where you wanted a bit of time on the ball so you could make the pass better or find someone, Ghana Gay was all over you. So I'm going to give Ghana Gay it, actually. Sorry to overtalk that, but Ghana Gay, Tarkowski, and striker. I want to see Beto have a go. I do now. Nothing against. I'm not like Everton fans. Oh, Calvert-Lewin's. I'm not clashing them. It's nothing. It's not a competition between Calvert-Lewin and Beto. Give Calvert-Lewin a break. Play Beto, because when Beto come on, he scored. Yes, he was offside, but next time he probably won't be. And I think Beto's got goals in him, so I'm going to go Beto when he come on, because he got the ball in the back of the net and he looked like he was really trying to score. Harrison was a bit. I know what you say about Harrison. He did have a couple of shots and stuff, but it wasn't as much as for how much you said you was worried about him, and I thought he was going to be dangerous against Manchester City. Don't think he kept the ball enough for me, so I'm going to go Beto, Ghana Gay, although I want to give it Onana, but I can't because he come on us. So, and Tarkowski. There's mine. Paul, who's yours? And then bring a few out in the comments, and we'll end this Lucas show.
Yeah, I'm a bit like you. I think Tarkowski probably doesn't get the credit he deserves because Branthwaite's so good, but young. All the focus is on him. But I think Tarkowski was immense yesterday, and so I'd say him. However, there was one particular moment for Branthwaite. We had it in the second half. He got shoved to our sort of to our byline, and he was being pressured. And instead of just banging out for a throw, and he did actually try and keep the ball. I can't even sort of talk about what it was, because he kind of almost did like a Berbatov kind of flick and turn away from the City striker and then kept possession for us. It was just thought that's just a little sign of what he's got in the locker. But defensively, I say Tarkowski. Midfield wise, and Blues mentions it, I'll put it up in a second. I thought Dwight McNeil's footwork and ball work was fantastic yesterday. There was some times where, again, we did well to keep hold of the ball, and there was a couple of occasions, particularly, was it first half or second half? I think it might have been second half again, And he's just managed to go past 3 or 4 City players who were just trying to crowd in and kept possession for us. So massive shout for McNeil, but I don't think you can go beyond Garner Gay, to be honest. Especially that sort of area where I was saying Anana got the ball from Branthwaite and then turned and created things. He was stopping City from doing that. That's why they found it really difficult to do what De Bruyne did as soon as he came on. I don't think those players had the space. They weren't able to create the space because of what Garner Gay was doing. But De Bruyne is different gravy, and Garner Gay was knackered by that point. So Garner Gay, midfielder for me. And also up front, I mean, it's a thankless task playing in a 4-5-1. You know, he's bereft of confidence. He can't strike a ball to save his life at the moment. But I tell you what, he worked his absolute bollocks off. And there was an occasion as well for DCL where it was first half again, and it might have been Diaz. It wasn't Ake. It was one of the ones. It might have been Diaz, and he rolls him. But Diaz has hold of him round the waist, and he's right in front of the managers as well. And he just keeps hold of DCL. DCL, if he hadn't grabbed hold of him round the waist, DCL would have been away. Obviously, like defenders are chasing back and stuff. But how that wasn't a booking or anything just is beyond me, to be honest. So it was a thankless task, and I think he worked really, really hard. So I'd say DCL did a decent job yesterday. It's just that at the moment everyone's picking on the negatives in his game rather than the positives. So yeah, so for me, Tarkowski, Garner Gay, and DCL are the 3. I've got the Blues. He said Tarky and Garner Gay, but he didn't say a forward. And he says as well about McNeil doing well, never hid from the ball. His attitude's been amazing. You know, like you were saying about Walker, Marvin. Dwight McNeil's been going through some horrors, really. His wife not being well for a long time, and he's just not showing it at all. He just turns up every day and gets on with it, and been playing fantastically well considering everything that him and his missus are going through at the moment. So it's a massive shout for him. Yeah, definitely needs it.
You need those kind of players in the dressing room, those right professionals. And I think that's what I was even listening when I came back home, and I was listening to what they were saying about Sean Dyche. And this is why I'm going to give credit to Sean Dyche as well. Even though he wasn't on the technical area, but the way that he's got everybody singing the same hymn sheet, he's got everyone wanting to be there. There doesn't look like there's many problems there. Obviously, there might be a few players that are upset. Every player is probably upset when they don't get played, and that might want to their football somewhere else. But to have 20 plus, 30 plus, being able to get along with a squad that size, I got to give credit to what he did yesterday as well. But I always know against the Sean Dyche team, if anything, as long as he's got like that structure, it's going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult. But the way he's got the guys, even Garner Gay, as you guys were saying, I remember there was a few games at the start of the season he didn't really look the same. I don't know if it was Manchester United or there was like definitely a game that I watched him and I was like, yeah, this isn't the Garner Gay before he left for PSG. But when he came back, I don't know what it is. I don't know if he had a talk with Sean Dyche. I don't know if Sean Dyche said that he's going to play him differently, if he's being played differently. But it does look like he came back and he was another guy. That's why, I did shout him out there in the midfield at him and Garner. But yeah, I just think he's building something. I think that's mainly down to Dyche. The fact that we can speak about some of the players reviving some of their careers. Because some of their careers, I feel like Garner Gay, really, he was down and out, to be honest. At PSG, it looked like his career he could have went to Saudi maybe. It was looking like that was the route. But he's revived his career. So he's got to thank him. As well as McNeil as well. McNeil was another one that I remember when he was first playing at Burnley, people were saying that, and then he moved. People were like, okay, he didn't carry on the potential that he originally had. But it looks like Sean Dyche is now finally getting these out of these players. So I think he needs
Marvin, you're a proper footballer, you are. That's why I like having you on. I don't just say it to lick your ass. I don't lick no one's ass. But generally, you're a footballer, mate. You can tell. Like from top to bottom, you understand Man City and you understand Everton as well, because some Man City fans will just go, "Oh, Sean Dyche is shit tactics. Everton are shit." shit tactics and stuff like that. But you actually know your football. And that's what you've got to do. Look at Everton and realise the situation they're in and how well they're doing. And I think you bang on. And that's what I try and tell some of our Everton fans as well, because some of our Everton fans on Twitter and stuff like, oh, that Dyche is crap. We've got no future with Dyche. He's rubbish and stuff like that. But they just take for granted what he brings. Do you know what I mean? Do you know, when Lampard was in, we was awful at defending. Dyche has come and made us good at defending. Now our fans just think that's a given. And they forget that Dyche actually had a big job to do to make us good at defending. And Dyche has done so much work. But once Everton fans see it, they think it's a given. Oh, well, you should just defend like that anyway. No, trust me. If Dyche wasn't putting that shift in behind the scenes, we'd crumble. When we used to go away, if we let one in, we'd end up losing 5-1. I can remember Joshua King scoring a hat-trick against us. We just crumbled. Honestly, we was awful. And we had no player under Lampard knew what they was doing for me. They didn't know what they was doing. I didn't know what Lampard's tactics was. Where that game against Manchester City, yes, it wasn't pretty, but a point could keep us up this season with this 10-point deduction. So why not try and get that point? So if we did what we had to do, we'd be stupid for not doing that. And I think Dyche nearly did get that point from you. 70th minute, and it took a corner from a goal like that. I don't think we did that bad. There's a lot of goods for me from Everton at the minute. And we are wrapping up the show now. There's a lot of goods from you, by the way, because although I'm really frustrated that we lost, this gives you a chance to go and frigging do the job now, mate. Now, I'm sending you, Marvin, to go and win the league, right? Because I can't be arsed with those cop-outs with frigging Klopp last season. Oh, my God. Carragher won't be saying get down that tunnel if Klopp wins the Premier League this season. I do not want to see Liverpool win the league this season. So those 3 points that you've got from us, I hope you go on to absolutely smash it and win the league this season now. And I think the way you played with those players that come on, I think you're going to take some stopping, because I think we did really well to keep you out for 70.
Yeah, to be honest, I would normally say Arsenal, Man City, to be fair, but we've got Man City away. We've got Arsenal away on the last day of the season, and that would just be absolute sickener for us to be there. Whatever happens with us, to then have their title winning party, and it's happened before.
Imagine
that would just oh God.
I've already thought about it in my head. Imagine like Liverpool I think Liverpool top at the minute. They're top of the league, ain't they, at the minute?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, so Liverpool are top of the league.
Yeah,
we've got to play Liverpool, and we never beat Liverpool. But this is going to be the time that we beat.
This has to be the time.
Come at me as much as you want. I don't care, but this is going to be the time that we beat Liverpool, right?
Is that good?
James Rodriguez and Richarlison, that goal when we beat them, they hated it, and this is going to be the time. So we beat Liverpool. We could be good friends here, Marvin, because we're going to beat Liverpool to massively help you out. And at the end of the season, when it's close with you and Arsenal, imagine if Arsenal are top of the league. I know you don't want to imagine this, but if at the end of the season and it's down to the last game between you and Arsenal, which I think it could be, because Arsenal and Man City are the best for me, looking at both teams in the league, looking at everyone in the league, sorry. So last game, we've got Arsenal, and Arsenal top of the league. And if we beat Arsenal, you win the league. So imagine that if we actually beat Arsenal the last game of the season. It's going to be interesting. But the way you played, I can't see you losing another game this season. I really can't. I'm not saying that because you're on the channel. I just generally, Haaland for me hasn't been what he was last season. And I think he's on the verge of being that again. De Bruyne hasn't played, but De Bruyne was good anyway, but I feel he's better than he's ever been. I don't know why. I don't know whether it's his new hair with his little flicks and all that lot, with his new hairstyle. But it suits him, to be fair. It does look good on him, I think. Some people say it looks stupid, but I think it suits De Bruyne.
You know what changed it for De Bruyne? It's because he's now had surgery. That's what it was. And this hamstring. He had to, because he was getting injections at the end of last season. And he was playing, he was over, and then in the Champions League final, this hamstring just torn completely off his leg. So they had to do surgery. So now he's came back and he's not playing without pain. That's why he looks a lot more happier and he looks a lot more carefree. Even day to day, like he just looks happier. Even doing media work or even around the ground, he just looks happy when you're watching him play. And I think that's just the difference to surgery. But as for the title race, we'll definitely beat Arsenal, so you guys don't need to witness that at the end of the season.
Good lad.
Hopefully, you guys. To be fair, Everton have normally helped us out in the past title races when it comes to Liverpool. You guys normally do. There was a season where I felt like Anthony Gordon should have got the penalty, and then they didn't give the penalty at Anfield. That should have been another one where you guys would have helped us. But yeah, as for the title race, I'm pretty content for now. I just think, as I said at the start of the preview, I think it was one of the first lines I said was right place. The right players are coming now back at the right time. And now everyone's fit and available. And the options that we have, as we were saying before about the bench, the options now, we shouldn't be taking that for granted. City fans shouldn't be taking that for granted, because there's going to be a time when Pep does leave, which I don't know, currently they're saying 2025, but I think he'll stay at least 2 more years. When that day does come, it's not going to be like this, you know what I mean, every time. So I think City fans got to appreciate this period right now, where the players, we've got the team that we've got right now, because in a few years, it's not going to be as good as it was, you know what I mean? So you just got to enjoy it. And I do think this season we could make history. We could win that 4P, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I think this could be the year that we make history. But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
It's going to be interesting at the top. I think Arsenal are really strong, and I think they're the only team for me that when it comes towards the end, that it'll be between you two. But you know what Liverpool fans are like? They've got them as the best team in the absolute world, and they're incredible, and they think they're going to win the league.
Dan, they invented fist pumps as well now, didn't they? That's one of them.
You invented absolutely everything Liverpool did. It's crazy, isn't it?
Apparently, as well.
I can't stand Carragher. I can't. I really, really can't stand him. You know what I mean? I really can't stand him. I can't believe that he just. Sometimes you listen to these commentators and they say one thing one week and say another, and you actually remember what they say, but they don't remember what they say. And I would never. I know some people lick Carragher's arse, but I would never. Just because he's from the city, but I would never lick his arse whatsoever. Right, we have got a few on now, so I'm going to tell you a little new thing here. We're at the end. Marvin's been cracking. I hope you go on to do good things, mate. You will do it. I've got confidence that you are going to do it.
Well for both of you guys as well. You know.
Oh, thanks, man.
Next time I come on, I'm expecting we're gonna more likes. I hope people are liking. I hope people are subscribing and helping the channel grow. You know what I mean?
Well, I've just dropped this show next, Marvin. On Thursday, I managed to do it, and it was really hard work for me. So people have a listen now, because this is what's coming next on Toffee Bluecast, and it was a mission. Trust me, I put effort in for this for you lot. So have a listen on this. The show that's coming next, I've had a look at the teams that are bottom 9 in the Premier League. So you're looking at Bournemouth, Fulham, Crystal Palace, Brentford, Forest, Luton, Everton, Burnley, and Sheffield United. We don't know if we're going to get the 10 points back, so we've got to go with what's on show. So these are the teams, the bottom 9. I've managed to get a person on representing these teams, all YouTubers from these teams on Thursday at 8 o'clock. So we're going to have a fan from all of these teams, all 9 teams. And what we're going to do is we're going to have a show where we say how we feel we're doing at this moment in time. So do we feel we're going to be okay this season? And then we're going to predict all 9 teams in what order they're going to finish. So you're going to get a fan from Bournemouth predict what he thinks the bottom 9 is going to be. A fan from Fulham do that. Crystal Palace, Brentford, Forest. It's going to be really interesting how we're all feeling at this moment in time. I hate relegation battles, but I just think it'll be a good show to see where we're all at. And we'll have 9 YouTubers on the channel. So it'll be quite a good 9 fan YouTubers on the channel. So it should be a good show, that one. That's what we've got coming up. Thursday at 8 o'clock, I managed to get a fan for everyone. Because when I tried to actually organise it, Marvin, I was like, can you do it? And they all said yes. And I was like, can you do Sunday? 3 people said no. 3 people said yes. Can you do Monday? Then no, yes. I managed to get all 9 people available for Thursday at 8 o'clock. There will be 9 YouTubers on, and it's a battle.
Name, Dan.
You know what I mean?
You've seen Pendo's suggestion there. The relegation delegation.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. What name could we call it? Premier League Battle of the Bottom 9. That was what I said. Premier League Battle of the Bottom 9. That's what my thought was. Premier League Battle of the Bottom 9. Now, if you've got any ideas, put it in the comments, because I do need a good title to catch people's eyes so we get a good listen on this. But it should be a big one on the channel, because I know every YouTuber that I've got coming on has got a lot of followers for their fan base. So I'm hoping that it brings us all together and it's just a proper show of survival of the bottom 9. And I don't want to ever be in a relegation battle again. So hopefully this will be the first time I do it and the last time I do it. But yeah, that's what we've got coming up, people. Thanks for picking up the channel, Marvin. I know you enjoy it on. I know you like my music. I will get better music soon. Don't worry. When we play you next time, though, Marvin, live watch, mate. Live watch next time we play you.
Definitely. Oh, God. That could be painful, Dan.
With live watch, we'll do that. We'll do that. I'll be there.
Also, sorry, Marvin, go on. You go. What are you gonna say?
I was just going to say I'll definitely be there to see both of you guys' reactions. You know.
Oh, God. Yeah. Oh, it could go the other way. You never know.
That's true.
If you win, you celebrate, by the way. When I win, I go mad. If you win, you celebrate. If you lose, don't hide. Just face the music. That's why I've got Marvin on now. Just face the music. He's got the smile on his face. I wish I had that smile. I wish we did beat Man City, but we didn't. And I think you've just got to sometimes be there for the highs and lows. Sometimes being there for the lows is more important than being there for the highs. Last season, we played Bournemouth and we could have got relegated. Now, when Everton are better in a couple of years' time, we're back competing for Europa League like we was before Mashiri come. Then you'll remember the lows and think I was there for my team when they were struggling. Do you know what I mean? You've got to be there for your team. The most important time for you to be there for your team is the rock bottom. That's when they need you. If our Everton fans didn't get behind them that Bournemouth game and believe in them, we'd be in the Championship now. I wouldn't be talking to Marvin playing Man City, talking about us not letting them score for 70 minutes.
Well,
so our fans, don't feel sorry for yourself. It's not nice. It is draining being in 2 relegation battles, but you've got to ride the storm. Our club needs us at this moment in time.
I was still young. I was surrounded by 6, but I remember with my dad. Yeah, well, I don't remember it, but I was 6, and it was around 9. It was 999. It was 999 season, and obviously, Man City fans will know why that significant, obviously, promotion. And it was the league. It was the league, Division 1. It was basically to get up to the Championship. So it was one of those games.
The Gillingham game.
Paul, I bet you won't get this. This is one before we go. I am going, but there's loads on and they won't leave the stream because they're so loyal and I love you all. Like and subscribe. Right. Do you know who my favourite Man City player? There was 2 Man City players that I wanted really bad that we was linked to. I'll tell you one. The first one, it was when we had Lescott and it was your left back, I think he was.
Kolarov.
No.
Was this when we had Lescott, Julian Lescott?
Big guy. No, it's when we had Lescott. A big guy, your left back. Does commentating.
Distant.
Micah Richards. Yeah, I wanted him. I thought, you know what? I remember we had Lescott and Lescott was solid. And I thought, if we had Micah Richards and Lescott, we'd be boss. You know what I mean? I thought we'd be solid if we had him. So he was another one.
He was a right back.
Right back, sorry. Yeah, I got it wrong. Yeah, but he was solid. I liked him. I don't know why, but I thought Micah Richards was really good. I loved him. And I tell you another player that I wanted, and you won't get this one. I might have to tell it, yeah. See if you randomly get it. Paul knows some stuff sometimes, but I've never spoke about him. Another Man City player that I really, really liked. Blues. You knew, by the way, if I ever spell something wrong, say something wrong, the Blues will always be there to put me right.
Well done, Blues.
Paul is the teacher. Paul's the teacher, but the Blues is my second teacher. Right. This player's a winger. I think he was a winger. A winger for Man City. And he begins with P. It's got you thinking now before we end this. I probably have got his name wrong now. A winger for Man City and he begin with P.
Which season?
I'm trying to get up.
Did you have someone called Petrovic or someone playing?
Petrovic, that's the one, yeah. Petrovic, that's the one. Do you remember him? I thought, how did you get that, Paul?
To be fair, I thought you were talking about Petrov, but Petrov was a midfielder. That's how I was like, which season? Petrovic. Yeah, to be fair, I thought you would have been saying something like, I know, I can understand the Michael Richards one because Michael Richards, even though he was retired by 27 or 26, that guy, he really didn't reach his potential.
No, that's it. Stilian Petrov.
Stilian Petrov. Oh, so Petrov, you were talking about Petrov?
No, yeah, Stilian Petrov. That's who it is. I was trying to find a picture of him because I can remember him in my head, but he scored a lot of goals for you and he's fancy.
Now Petrov, Petrov, I can understand that. Not Petrovic, but Petrov, yeah, I can understand Petrov. And
you two, I was going to say, you two be remembering Petrov. I'll be remember with Pendo, Paul Power. From the late 80s, early 90s, Paul Power. I would have said King Clancy.
No, that's definitely him. That's him. Yeah. Petrov. Petrov was really good, He was like tidy.
He was.
Yeah. That's the player. I used to like him.
Yeah, he still is a fan favorite, to be honest. But it's just that's what it's about, sticking with your team because you just never know where it could be. That they always say that obviously people talk about, what's the goals the most important, the Aguero goal or the Champions League goal. But that goal that Dickov scored in 99, if it wasn't for that, there was a part on BT Sport before yesterday's match that they did. I don't know if you guys seen it before our match. And they just asked a few City fans, a few of them that knew, a few that didn't. And it was just about like that whole journey. And if that goal never went in, we could have probably went into, you look at teams that don't exist anymore. We were going to go down that path. So it does always sticking by a team because you never know where it might go. Same with Newcastle right now. Newcastle now, they're stuck low with their team. Now they've probably got a chance to do something in the next 10 years. Now they've been able to play Dortmund and Milan this season. So I just think it's just, you got to stick with your team and just see where the journey takes you. I think
that's why fans of other clubs get ticked off, because it's easy, I'd imagine, to forget where you come from. And if we're all sort of still looking up, remembering where we came from, because we haven't actually succeeded very well in the last however many years, same as lots of clubs around us, then we're looking at you guys sort of think, have you not realised, remembered where you were bloody less than 25 years ago? So, it is a little bit like that. So I'd always say to anyone who's doing well, pride comes before a fall, and don't forget where you come from. Without a doubt. Dan, I was going to say, tomorrow
they used to have that player.
Richard Dunn. Richard Dunn.
You know what I mean?
He's got a trophy in his hand.
I know Man City on highs, but they had hard times as well. They didn't have it easy. You know what I mean? I'm sure they remember they had some harder times when they had Dunn and all that lot. It wasn't all fairy tales.
Probably scored the most own goals I've ever seen by a defender. Probably is the record.
You never know what the future brings. I'm showing you a picture of Dunn, and now you've got Haaland and this and that and the other. I'm no disrespect to Dunn, by the way, because
from Dunn to Diaz
with his arm. Yeah.
From Dunn to Diaz.
There's a book in there
Diaz,
somewhere.
Yeah. That'll be a book I release from Dunn to Diaz.
That's cool. No, Dan. Tomorrow, tomorrow, Dan, is your 1 year birthday.
What, on Toffee Bluecast?
Toffee Bluecast 1 year birthday. 12th of Feb, you told me.
If it is the 12th of Feb, I will get a musician on tomorrow. I'll have to pay him $2,000 to come on tomorrow, a musician, to get him to come on and sing some Everton songs. I've got someone in mind. I never knew that, but I'll sort something out. We'll go live tomorrow night if it is our anniversary of one season on YouTube. We'll go live and have a bit of Everton fun tomorrow night. Right, I am going to end this because I hate it when I get good people on the stream. I love it, but I hate it. But Marvin's quite a decent guy. If he was an idiot, I would have ended this in about 30 minutes in. But unfortunately, he's a boss geezer. He is a boss man. So, right, here we go. I'm going to drop the banner, everyone. Have a boss night. We have gone through the game. I don't normally like going through the games, but unlike some Everton fans, I thought we played well against Manchester City. For what we could do, I thought we did. 70th minute. I would like to have got a draw, and I feel like that would have been good against a team that has the players Manchester City have. Good luck, Marvin. Good luck this season. It's been cracking having you on. We will meet again when we play again. We've played twice now, so that'll be it until maybe next season. So Good luck with the season. Paul, last words while I chuck the banner on. Marvin, I'll let you say your last words and I'll drop it on Paul, then I'll chuck the banner on.
Go on, Marv.
No, I'll just say that thanks, first of all, both of you guys for having me on. It was a pleasure. I'll come back again. Hopefully, next year. Hopefully, we're both still in the Premier League, But I hope that I wish you guys luck. And obviously, even though, listen, I've got that beef with Liverpool, Liverpool right now. I don't like Liverpool, but Everton, I'm cool with Everton. So I hope Everton stay up. Obviously, the Everton, as I said, I did say this again at the start of the show. And it's not just to say because I'm on an Everton podcast, but it's very true. And I think a lot of Premier League fans would agree. Everton are a big part of the Premier League. They're a big team in English football. And you don't want to see teams like Everton go down. You don't want to see, just like a Sunderland, you don't want to see teams like when Newcastle went down, or Leeds. You don't want to see these kind of teams go down.
Oh, Aston Villa. Aston Villa was another one that have got a lot of history as well. They went down, and I think it's better now they're in the Premier League. The history, you want all the teams in.
West Ham as well. So I hope Everton stay up as well, because I think you guys have never been. Have you guys ever been relegated? Or I don't know if you guys have. It might have been one time, but you guys have been, since my lifetime.
1953, I think, something like that. 50. That was our last time.
So since my whole life, I've knew that I've been in this league. So hopefully you guys stay up in there, and both of you guys, hopefully you have a good year as well.
And we'll see you again next season. And this time, I won't predict 3-2. I'll go something a bit more sensible. But I will still have us probably to win 1-0 when we play you next season. We're not going to. I can't not speak to Marvin next season, so we need to stay up just for that, right? You know what I mean? We've got to stay in the Premier League. Paul, drop the last words and I'll drop the banner on.
Thanks for being here, everyone. Tomorrow is our year birthday, so we'll be on tomorrow night having a laugh. So come and join us. And if you haven't pressed subscribe yet, do so. We're near 600. It's not bad in a year. So give us a hello and a subscribe, and we'll see you again soon.
As I say in the song, the only way is up. Subscribers. Let's hit 1,000 soon. Fucking awful. Up the top is everyone. Have a boss night. And good luck, Marvin. See you later, everyone. Drop the banner.
I never really know what's going on. Look at me sometimes like all you want to do
I get on the streets to celebrate. I really do.